Okay guys, so I just wanted to come on here really quickly because I received a comment that just broke my heart, you know, and I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not going to say where or how I received this comment, but I just want to kind of address it in a way because I feel like there's a lot of Christians that believe this. It was said that Christians do need to be rich because, or Christians do need to appear as abundant in riches because it will make other Christians want to become Christians and see what they have, because who wants to serve a God that is poor? And then they said Jesus wasn't poor, that he was rich. Here's the thing with that. If you read The Cost of Following Jesus, Jesus said that the birds have nests. What did he say? I've got it written down somewhere here. It's Matthew chapter 8, verse 20. It says, Jesus replied, foxes have holes and the birds of the air have nests. I'm sorry, the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Jesus and his disciples walked around and they traveled. They didn't have time to lug around riches, and they were travelers. They were on a mission, you know. And so my thing is, if we want to get other people to believe, to become believers of Christ because of what we have, that's the wrong motives. That's the wrong thing, because you may become a Christian and never get rich, you know? That's just the reality of it. I'm not rich. I definitely am not rich. I'm not even on the totem pole of rich. I definitely am content in what God has given me. And so what I'm trying to say is, if we look at it like, man, a Christian is supposed to look at another Christian and see how rich they are to get them to believe, that's the wrong motive, because the Christian may become a believer thinking that they're going to get what that other Christian has, or thinking that they're going to become rich like the other Christian is, and never become rich. So what's going to happen if they don't become rich? Are they just going to fall away because they're going to be like, oh man, well, this sucks. I never got what I wanted. In other words, they're going to be serving God for what they can give them, not for the peace, not for the joy, not for the calling, not for the purpose, not to cultivate God's harvest, you know, not for the right reasons at all, for spreading the word, for spreading the gospel. If you read Paul's account, he said, I have learned to be content, whether I have little or a lot. You know, my strength comes from Christ, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so he said that was the secret to being content, you know. 1 Timothy, it's either 1st or 2 Timothy, chapter 6, verses 6 through 10. It says, godliness with contentment is great gain. You know, in other words, you can't, and it even goes on to say that many that seek to have riches and to get rich it said plunge into destruction, you know. So this Christian life is not all about getting rich and getting the best this and getting the best that and getting Christians to see how rich we are and to get them to follow us to follow Jesus because we are so rich. That's the wrong way about it. And if you believe that, you got to go back to your word. You got to go back to the Bible. Now, I'm not saying that there's not any of us that are going to be rich, and I'm not saying that there's not any of us that are going to have a lot of things. But the problem with trying to get people to see what they can get from God instead of seeing the life they can have with God and the purpose they can have with God, because I'm telling you, this is no joke. You're not if you're in it to get what you can get from God, that's the wrong purpose to be in it in the first place. God has a harvest. God has people that he's trying to bring back to him, and he wants to use you to help do that. And so how can you be used if all you're consumed is, God, Give me this. God, give me that. God, give me this. God, give me that. I want this. I want that. I want that shiny new car. I want that shiny new house. I want this. I want that. I say that a lot in this channel because there are so many Christians that believe God for what that he can give them. And that's it. That's the only reason why they declare themselves as a believer, because they feel like one day they're going to get rich. No, guys, no, that's not what this is about. You may never get rich. You may never get rich. I'm going to tell you that right now. You may never get rich. Like I said, I'm not rich. I've never been rich, and I'm not trying to get rich because I know what it's about. And I'm rich in heart. I'm rich in soul because I have never, ever been more happy, more joyful, more peaceful than I've ever been in this moment in me making the choice to follow Christ, to take up my cross every single day. What if a hurricane comes and wipes out that $1 million home that you just purchased 2 weeks ago? What if that happens? What are you going to do? Oh, well, God, I can't follow you anymore because I lost my $1 million house, because that's all you were following God for to begin with, was what he could give you. So now you're totally devastated. You put your trust in your heart and your soul into that house, into that car, and now it's gone. Now you're just totally depressed and you don't know where your life is going to turn or where you're going to go, because that's what you lived for. That's what you wanted to be a Christian for, was for what God could give you. No, guys, we don't need, if you ever notice, most Christians that have rich houses, that $1 million houses and cars and stuff like that, their ministries are false. They really are. They're always preaching that sow your seed for your need, pay this ministry. Why not say to give out of the kindness and the goodness of your heart? Because the Bible does say that he blesses a giver. But it's not about sow into this ministry, pay this ministry, and you're going to receive tenfold from God because you gave money to my ministry, because you blessed my ministry with $300 out of your pocket, or whatever the case may be. Some of them have so many different things and so many different sayings. It's insane. Don't ever let anybody trick you into giving money to their ministry to get blessings. All you got to do is go to God yourself to get blessings. That's it. Go to God yourself and ask him, and you'd be surprised what you would receive that way, instead of paying to this ministry that you've been paying for the last 10 years, still waiting for your blessing. That's just ludicrous. That's madness. But I had to come on here and address that, because there are so many people that are like that are like, man, the only way that I'm going to believe is if I can get me $1 million home, and that's it. That's the only way that I'm going to believe. That's the only way I'll know God is real, is if I receive my $1 million home, and that's the wrong way to go about it. The cost of following Jesus is grand. It's going to cost you a lot. It may cost you everything. It may cost you everything. And in my case, it did, and it has. And I continue to walk it out every day with Christ, every single day, picking up my cross to follow him. And I've never been more happy. I've never been more joyful. I've never been more peaceful. Only give because God has called you to give, out of the goodness of your heart, okay? Don't let anybody push you into giving. I love you guys. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.